So just to give you a little bit about myself, for those who don't know, my name is Ron Barron. I've been blessed to be a senior executive at a bunch of corporations across the country, mostly in the Northeast. You probably haven't heard of them, but you've used all my products. And so I've been CEO, President, VP Marketing, VP Operations, VP Sales of different companies. And then I moved west. And when I moved west, I got to look back and I realized that we as senior executives got it all wrong. And the wisdom we followed was the opposite of what drives success. And as a result, I started studying success, and I realized that mega successes in my life never happened when I followed my intellect. They always happened when I was pulled, kicking and screaming because of some life circumstance, business circumstance. No, we got to do this. And then I'd look back and phenomenal success would happen. And of course, I would get the credit for all that. But when I looked at it, it's very humbling. Because I would say, no, we got to do this, I got to stay here, we got to do this, whatever. And that's not where success happens. So we think we are so friggin' smart, truthfully, and the truth is that we are not. And the truth is, more than understanding what our next step needs to be in our business, in our life, we have to understand what our destination needs to be or is with deep specificity. I like flip charts. And I thought we'd be in an intimate little room, so I created a little small one, especially for SLB. I want to know this is branded. Nice. So you talked about this a little bit, but there is one barrier to each of your phenomenal success. One barrier. You know what that barrier is?
No.
You are the barrier. You are the reason that you're not as successful as you can possibly be. We're programmed since birth to believe that life has to be a compromise. We're programmed. You know, when we were little kids, our parents would read us fairy tales. And we were the knight in shining armor, or we were the beautiful princess letting her golden hair down off the castle that had 432 rooms. And then one day you're 5 years, you're 6 years old, and your parents say, no, honey, that was just a fairy tale. Life isn't like that. Up until that point, we believed, we related to the knight or to the princess, and we believed that could be our life. But our parents tell us, no, that's not reality. Is don't work Thursday afternoons. Okay. You know what? Our parents meant well. Our parents meant well. They taught us when we were kids. They said, you want to be successful, you got to work hard. You want to be more successful, you got to work harder. And the problem with life is that when you work hard, you actually do stuff. You accomplish stuff. So that gives you the impetus to work a little harder. And if you work a little harder, you actually accomplish a little bit more. But the fascinating things, as I look back over success for myself and lots of other people, is the greatest ideas you've ever had. The ones that really change your career, change your life, maybe your financial condition, a relationship. The big ideas never happen while you were hard at work. Never. When did they happen? While you're in the shower. Right. While you're in the shower. Why? Because it's like 5 or 10 minutes. It's the only time we have where we cannot multitask. We can't bring in our iPod, we can't bring in our iPad, we can't bring in our iPhone, we can't even bring in a notepad and a pencil. You never write another to-do list.
Why?
Well, because, let's think about this. Where do the things on your to-do list come from?
Your brain.
Your brain. So what does that mean? It means that you know what you have to do.
But then you forget.
Well, let's give it a minute.
You have too much.
Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. So it comes from your brain. I understand a honey-do list. I understand a list from your boss. Yeah, I understand a list from your boss because those come from somebody else's brain. So therefore you need to document that because you're doing what is in someone else's brain. But our to-do list comes from our brains. So we know what we have to do. After all, we have brains. We know what we have to do. And every time we write a to-do list, and at the end of the day, we look at the things that didn't get done, we basically are beating ourselves up, saying, you idiot, these are things you should have done today, and look at how many didn't get done. So we beat ourselves up, and we start believing in mediocrity. What happens when you have a headache? Which body part do you focus on?
In my head.
One. We don't think about the other 2,999 or possible 999 billion, whatever. Right? We think about the one. When our elbow really hurts, what do we think about? One body part. And oh, my aching elbow, and that's all we focus on, my aching head, that's all we focus on. We don't focus on the other 2,900 body parts that are working really well, that feel really good. Like, hey, whoa, my knees, they're really, my range of motion in my neck is great. Yeah, I got one pain here, but I got 999,000 million gazillion great parts of my body that are working well. We love to focus on the one piece of trouble that we have. And
The
then,
band? Is that about the band, right?
that is clearly about the band. Yeah. Who invited this guy? Oh, this is your
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Very good. We live a life of rushing. We go faster. I'm going to suggest that we consider rush a 4-letter word. It is a 4-letter word, of course, but I consider it. I suggest we consider it a word that we don't use. People meet you on the street and they say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And you say, "Oh, I'm busy." "How are you?" "I'm busy." Well, what does busy imply? Busy implies nothing. We can be busy running in circles. We can be busy breathing. We can be busy wasting our time. Busy. Busy means nothing. Another bad 4-letter word. How about if we said instead, I'm productive. I'm accomplishing stuff. This is your very last line. So this is sort of
We're on the last leg.
What? We're on the last leg. So on this very last leg, I want you to put down a positive attribute that you know is true about yourself. That people would admit, yep, that is you. If I was going to say something about you, that is you. Everybody admits it. And you know it's true. Oh, man, 4. What a sad commentary that it becomes tough for us and we have to dig deep because we should be able to rattle these off 1, 2, 3. There's only 4. You should have hundreds of positive attributes, and you do. But we love to focus on the negative, never bring to the surface what's subverted or positive stuff. Like you said, you hear these things about you, you don't even believe them because it sounds like just gobbledygook because we don't take those to heart. How sad that we have to work at 4 little attributes when we know we have hundreds. You wrote that, so you know it's true. It came from your heart and your head. Those are truths about you that are unlike any of the other 7 million? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like the other 7 billion minus 1 people on this planet. Which is an amazing thing. If you each looked at your 4 attributes, I guarantee that they are counterintuitive to be wrapped up in one person, and I guarantee that they are unlike anybody else on this planet. And we're talking about 7 billion. You can't even imagine what 7 billion means, but they're unlike anybody else. It is these attributes that you have, just 4 of them, of many hundreds that you have, these attributes that if you turn your table sideways are what's supporting your success. And with these kinds of attributes, you have to admit that you can be nothing but successful. If I was the leader of some mega organization and I heard your 4 attributes, Ashley, I would say, oh my gosh, I need to have that person in my organization. Why? Just like you said, I need her card. Because that person will make me look good. That person will make my organization thrive. I need that person. I don't care about the interview. I don't care about your resume. That's all I need to know. I need that person. With 4 attributes like that, you can be nothing but successful. With the attributes